Hey guys, I'm getting super frustrated because I have tried to make this video at least 6 or 7 times and it keeps saying my storage is full. Anyway, um, I've always blogged. I love blogging. Lately, I just cannot blog. I feel like my thoughts are all over the place and I just cannot get them jumbled in to type them out. I feel all jumbled, and so I thought it might be easier to record these. I might get there one day, but I refuse to go live on Facebook because these I can edit, and Facebook I fumble around and I'm sitting there live, and so I don't want to do that. So I may get brave enough to do that one day, but I just do not want to do that. So what I've been recording about since about midnight, and it's now after 1 a.m. because my phone's crazy, is Connor's weight and what we found out at the doctor. So I'm going to say diagnosed. I don't know if that's the right word because I just don't really know how you're supposed to say it, but I'm going to say diagnosed because I don't know how to say it. But Connor was diagnosed with failure to thrive. If you don't know, failure to thrive is where they're not growing the way they should grow. And I will say that I don't want you to think that Connor was like compared to a typical chart. This is he was compared to Down syndrome, so even though he has Down syndrome, he's still got failure to thrive. I just wanted to make that clear because I know some people were kind of confused. So Connor came home weighing 22 pounds. He's been home 2.5 years. He came home only on pureed foods. Before anybody says anything, he was deeply, I can't express it enough how loved he was at the orphanage, and how well taken care of he was. So I don't want anyone to think they weren't good to him. They were very good to him. They fed him. They cared for him. I'm not saying that in any way at all. And now I knew that already, but I think now others are starting to realize that too, because they see how he eats for us, and yet he's still a little bitty scrawny thing. So I wanted to throw that in. But anyway, so Connor came home 3 years old, 22 pounds. I remember how long it took to get him to 25 pounds, and it seemed like forever, but I can't remember now if it was like 6 months or a year. But anyway, he got to 25 pounds, and we partied hard, y'all. We had a big celebration. We were so excited. I put it all over Facebook. I was so pumped, and I thought we would continue to go up, but we stayed there for a very long time. And so fast forward 2.5 years later, here we are. He weighs 28 pounds. He's been 28 pounds for a very long time now, and he is 38 inches tall. So he is going to be 6 in September. It's hard for me to even say that out loud. 6 seems like such a big boy. I have a very hard time letting my little baby grow up. But anyway, so when we went to the doctor, his weight's been a concern in the past, and so the doctor had us giving him Ensure, Pediasures. He would chug them with his meals. Like, they did not curb his appetite, because some people said be careful with that because he'll want to eat them and then not eat a meal, and that's less calories. He didn't. He chugged them, drunk them with his meals, whatever. And he eats as much as an adult. I mean, he eats insane amounts. But anyway, so we've kind of stopped gaining weight. It's stopped. He has wore the same clothes, same size clothes, since he came home 2.5 years ago. Same size shoes, all that. So, that's not normal. That's concerning. So hadn't really thought a whole lot of his height, because when he first came home, he seemed to have grown a lot taller, but now his height has stopped increasing. And last time he goes to the lung doctor every 3 months, and last time we went to the lung doctor, they always weigh him and measure him first thing, and when she measured him, she was like, "Oh, you're the same height as last time." And I didn't really think a whole lot of it, because I'm going to be 100% honest of you, I don't know how fast they're supposed to grow. He's my first child. We're taking it a day at a time here. So, and I realize when I say that, it's been home 2.5 years, but still, I'm no expert, I didn't think a whole lot of it till we got to the doctor, and she was telling us, hey, this is super concerning. I know his weight's been concerning, but now his height is concerning to me. And then I started playing back what she had said when she measured him, and I'm like, oh, she was a little bit taken aback by that. But anyway, when you hear failure to thrive, I know that it is not my fault. I've done everything possible, even trying to increase his weight gain, snacks, extras, whatever I could do. So I know it's not my fault, but as a parent, you feel like it's your fault when your child is so behind, and so it's like something is wrong. So what we did is we went and did blood work. We checked his thyroid, because a lot of times people with Down syndrome have trouble with their thyroid. His thyroid's fine. We checked for any type of infection. He was fine, nothing. And we checked his kidney function. It was fine. And we checked growth, hormones, all that was fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wait 6 months. And if he has not gained weight, we'll go from there, which she didn't say, but I assume that means we're going to see some other specialists. I really don't want to have to do that, because I'm overwhelmed with doctors. I'm going to be honest, I'm overwhelmed with doctors anyway, but I know it's for his benefit and it's for his good, and I do want to make sure there's not a problem, and the thing is, I know that a lot of people are like, well, he's just going to be skinny, he's just going to be little, and maybe he is. I don't know his family history, I don't know his medical background, maybe he is just going to be skinny, but I want to make sure we check everything out regardless. I would rather be in the know and make sure there's no issues, So, anyway, another big concern for her was his heart, because that could make him, not be gaining correctly, and his heart's fine. We were released from a heart doctor about a year after he came home, so they do not think it's anything with his heart. And I just want to add in here that we are super, super blessed, and it's not lost on us. We are very grateful that he doesn't have any heart issues. So, not really sure. She told me to keep doing what we're doing, because that I am doing everything right. And as a parent, even if we do feel that, we still beat ourselves up, and we don't really want to let ourselves believe that. So it was nice to hear that, and I'm not putting myself on this pedestal at all, but it was nice to hear that. You've done everything you could, but at the same time, it's super heartbreaking to hear that. You've done everything you could, but it's not working. No one wants to hear that. So, he wears the same size clothes. I think I might have already said this. See, I've recorded this like 4 times, and it keeps saying my storage is full, so I'm not sure what I've said and what I ain't. But anyway, he's worn the same size clothes since he came home. Last summer, he wore 12-month shorts. The only reason this summer he didn't wear 12-month shorts is they were kind of getting booty shortish. He was getting taller, which has stopped now. But anyway, in the waist, he needs that little of a size. He needs a 12-month in the waist. Shoes, same size, 2.5 years, same size. And so, it's alarming. It's pretty concerning. But, anyway, so, we'll wait 6 months, and we'll go from there. We'll see what's going on. Also, ears looking good. We do go back Tuesday to check his eyes. The doctor thinks he might be nearsighted. And what they have to do is 3 nights prior to our appointment, I have to give him these eye drops that will dilate his eyes. What it is Connor's eyes are so, so dark. I mean, they are so dark brown, they almost look black. And his eyes are so dark that it's hard to just put drops in the office and give them time to dilate. Like, he needs some heavy-duty dilating stuff for his eyes. So we do them. So we're going back Tuesday to check that out. Hopefully he doesn't need glasses. I think he would be the most precious thing in the world with glasses, but the thought of teaching him he has to wear glasses, it's just, please let us be able to skip that, because the thought of that, oh my goodness. Because I think we all know how stubborn he is. But can't we all be stubborn, by the way? But anyway, so that's going on. Most of you know we see an eye doctor, a lung doctor, and an ENT every 3 months. the ENT we saw recently, I'm trying to think, let's see, it's July. We saw in June the ENT because it had been 6 weeks after he had had his tonsils and adenoids removed, and everything's looking good. And he released, we do not go back to him for 6 months instead of 3 months, so we were really excited, and so that was really nice to be able to do that. It's really difficult every 3 months. You think it's not a big deal, but it really is. And with my job and everything, they're super flexible, they're super good to me, but since it's in Knoxville, I do have to miss time off work, even if I make it as late in the evening as I can. And when you're the newest person there, it just scares me to miss work, because I do love my job, and I wouldn't want to do anything to jeopardize it, but at the same time, Connor's first. So I deal with those thoughts a lot. And also, some things we talked about at his appointment was speech. Well, they give you a paper and ask if you have any concerns, and speech is always a concern for me. I wish, it does not bother me at all if Connor's going to be nonverbal. I love and know many people who are nonverbal, and they find ways to speak to you, even if it's not with their voice. So I am completely okay with Connor being nonverbal if that is who God wants him to be. What bothers me, and this is just the control freak in me, is not knowing if he's going to be nonverbal. I feel like, and this is probably completely wrong, and somebody's going to comment on this and totally set me straight, but in my mind, I think it would be easier to know, hey, he's going to start talking in sentences at age 11, or it would be easier to know right now, hey, he's never going to speak like that. He's never going to, he'll always be classified as nonverbal, even if he can say these handful of words. And I know that that's probably completely not true, because that takes out hope, maybe. I don't know. But in my mind, I think that that's true. That's how I feel about it. And again, I pray all the time for God to make him who he wants him to be. I pray for his learning. I pray for his development. But then I pray, Lord, make him who you want him to be, and help us to be content with that. Help us not to push him too hard, but not to be too lenient and not expect the best from him. It's a hard, I think any special mom would say this. I know for sure, for me, it is a fine line between I don't want to baby him, but I don't want to push him too hard. And I know I baby him way too much. And part of it is he's my first child. And I know that's making excuses for myself. Part of it is he came home at age 3. I never got a tiny baby. I waited 7 years for this. I want to take care of him. And I know that sounds ridiculous, and I know that's making excuses, and I know that I could potentially be further delaying him by doing everything for him. So I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to take a step back, and if he needs to feed himself and he gets horribly messy, let it happen. But I have a hard time. The control in me has a hard time, but I'm trying to do better. So anyway, he says a handful of words, but there's also a lot of words that he said once and he's never said again. And like I said, he's my first child. I don't really know what else Down syndrome related. I don't know what else normal for a typical child. I'm learning as I go every day, y'all. And for instance, he said dada 3 or 4 times, I guess. It's been about a year since he said dada. I don't know why. I don't know. So we're working on signs, and I know a lot of people say, don't teach them to sign because then they won't talk. And maybe that's true, but my thinking is, what if he doesn't talk? he at least knows some signs. Like, and the thing is, I want him to be able to communicate with other people right now. He's going to be starting kindergarten soon, and I want him to be able to express his wants and needs. And if he cannot physically say the words right now, I want him to be able to sign it. So that's where I'm at in that. He is super delayed. I think that some of us don't like to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to be real about it. I think that anyone that knows him has already picked that out, obviously. He's on a super young level, even though he's going to be 6 soon. Is that difficult for me? On the one hand, he's my first child, so, I don't really have another child in my face all the time comparing it to them, but on the other hand, I do see him out around other kids, around other family members' kids who are way younger, and they're talking in circles around him, and so yeah, it can be difficult, but we definitely love him for who he is. And so this week, like yesterday, I got a letter from his kindergarten teacher, and it's the regular kindergarten class, which he'll be in the CDC class, but we hope to work him in a little bit into the regular kindergarten class, so she's still considered his teacher, even though he won't be with her a whole lot. Anyway, super, super nice letter. I haven't got to meet her yet. I'm excited to meet her. I'm not going to say her name on here because I don't want to blast her out everywhere, but her letter told about her personally, told about her kids, told about just good stuff. Of course, the supply list, obviously, and then with it, there was this paper, and this is one of these moments that gets difficult. I might cry on this. I'm going to try not to cry on you. There are times things get right up in your face, and it will almost take your breath away. This list was a list of things your child should be able to do, and if your child cannot do, you need to work on it with them and make sure they can do it by the time school starts. And I'm not going to read her entire list, but some of the things on it were like, be able to say their first and last name, know their phone number, know their address, be able to cut on a line on paper. I can't even think of the rest right now because I literally sobbed when I read it. But I wish I could think of more of it right now. Anyway, I'm drawing a blank. But Connor couldn't do anything on the list. Everything sing the ABCs, that was one of them. Count to, I'm not sure how high it was, but count, probably like 10, I'm guessing, and know their primary color, know their colors, the primaries for sure, and so, that's one of the moments that you get smacked in the face with how delayed your child is, and, like I said, I love him for exactly who he is. I'm fine with it. But there's little moments like that in life. And we're looking at this list. And there's these things on it that he's nowhere near doing. And you're wondering how far away you are from that. Like, is that around the corner, or will he ever be able to do some of this? Like, and I don't want you to think I'm talking bad about my child. I just like to be real and upfront. Connor is very intelligent. Please do not think that I'm saying he's not. He is very, very intelligent. He is super smart, and but there's things we have to accept, and I accept him for who he is. We love him for who he is. We celebrate him. We know that he is amazing, and we know that he's going to do great things. But moments like that, lists like that, will almost knock you back in your progress, because this thinking comes over you and the worry sets in, and the disbelief sometimes even sets in that this is our life, this is our journey, and we wouldn't have it any other way. I don't want to change him. I don't want to make him anything he's not, but it is gut-wrenching. It is a kick. It is a knife to the heart sometimes, and all it was this teacher's letter, and I'm not saying anything bad about her, but it was hard, and things like that sometimes take me a few days to recuperate from, and I know that sounds horrible. That's probably like the worst thing. I feel bad even saying it out loud, but it's a reality. Failure to thrive, it's a reality. Scarring in the lung, it's a reality. Eye surgery, ear surgery, all these other surgeries, it's a reality. Blood work and therapy and so much more. It's a reality, and it's fine. It's okay, because as hard as the time I have with it sometimes, he's living it. Poked and prodded and pushed and treated differently and looked down on, and don't let me find out about it, but made fun of. It's all realities, and it's all future realities. I don't know. I keep hoping, when he first came home, we wanted to go to the heart doctor. I was freaked out. They'd run all the tests in Hong Kong, but I want him on test. I want to know about his heart. I was freaked out. And his heart was fine, and then we were released from the heart doctor. And so all these other specialists, I thought, well, we'll go to him, and it'll all be good, and we'll get released. And that's not been the case with any of them. And you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. And then you wonder, will we be released? Is there a moment where he's going to outgrow this? Is there a moment where this is going to stop, where we can relax a little, and where I don't have to hear a sniffle or a cough and start panicking about pneumonia? Is there a moment that I don't have to put earplugs in his ear to wash his hair? Is there a moment? Is there going to be a time that I'm going to stop carrying a hospital bag in my trunk just in case? I don't know, and I don't have the answers. But what I do know is that God has been faithful to us. And what I do know is Connor is so happy. And if he can be poked and prodded and have countless surgeries and be put in the hospital and have to do therapy and have to endure all these other things and be so happy, why can't we? And so that's what I want. I want his joy. I want his peace. I want his contentment. And as crazy as it sounds, as crazy as it seems, I want to be more like him. Because he's got it. He's figured it out. In all things, there's joy. In all things, there's contentment. We should have peace. Why should we worry? And I know he's a child, and you're thinking, what's he got to worry about, But I think that we could learn a whole lot from that mentality. And So I'm going to hop off here because I should have went to bed a long time ago. But I just wanted to get all my thoughts out because I don't know why I've had a really, really hard time blogging lately and getting my thoughts out. But I've had this reoccurring thought lately. And it's about our setbacks. And what if our setbacks are setting us up for a comeback? I know we dealt with infertility and it destroyed me. It almost destroyed my marriage. It destroyed my relationship with other people, with friends. It was a setback in my life. But now I see why. Now I see the plan. And I feel like my comeback was Connor, this beautiful kid who 2.5 years ago wasn't in my life, and now he is, and he's perfect, and he's whole, and he's beautiful, and he's mine. He's my kid, not just because I adopted him. 100%, he feels like mine, and that's my comeback. That's being his mom. God gave me a comeback, and so I just wonder if our setbacks in life are setting us up for our comebacks. Like, God has this incredible plan for us, but we got to hit rock bottom. We got to be down in that valley to be grateful when our marriage is restored, to be more grateful when we're given a family, to be more content when we have peace, when for so long we haven't had peace, to be I don't even know how to describe it, to be more content with life because we've had so many struggles, to be more grateful because of the trials we've been through. What if your setback is setting you up for your comeback? Just think about it, and whatever you're going through, and whatever's going on in your life. And I wonder so much about Connor. He's had setback after setback after setback, doctor after doctor, pneumonia. What is his future going to hold? Is God setting him up for his comeback? And how beautiful is it going to be? And how miraculous is it going to be? And how wonderful is it going to be for me to be there, cheering him on and looking at this incredible person who went through a lot of tough stuff, who went through a lot of valleys, and he came out on top. So I want you to think about that. No matter what you're going through, maybe my setback is setting me up for my comeback. Just think about it. It's pretty deep. Anyway, I know it's been scattered. I know it's been crazy. And I know I have cried several times. I promised I wouldn't. My bad. I'm going to hop back on here soon and give you another update. And I'm going to try doing this and see if this is better than blogging for me. Because I have a lot that I want to say. But I have a lot too I feel like God wants me to say. And there's a lot more, and there's a lot deeper subjects, and there's a lot more things that I think would benefit if I was open about. I know a lot of times I've been told